What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I think it depends on the age. I think like 5, 6, it would have been something to do with space or dinosaurs. Those were my two obsessions then. So probably just, astronaut, something like that. Then I think, by the time I was 13, 14, 15, it was like I wanted max attention. So like president, it was just like hyper ambition, like want max everything, and president or something like that. And then that I think dissipated I was actually the class president at 17, and that was the end of me wanting to ever be a politician. It's like,
The pressure was too much.
It's just campaigning, trying to get people's votes, and then for what? So that you can have what's actually just kind of like a glorified bureaucratic, administrative role. I was like, no, I don't want that. And then from then on, it was basically like I probably was wanted to be in something creative, music or writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have these different stages of your background. I always think that one is running from and towards something, and that our backgrounds shape a lot of how we are today. And I know it's kind of armchair psychologist, but I'm a venture investor, so we have a lot of time to think. My question to you is, what do you think you're running from, and what do you think you're running towards, Tim?
I'm probably running. You spend your whole, for me, my whole first 22 years. Some people a lot longer. With you're not in charge of your own day. Like you have to go to class at this time. You have to turn in this paper by this time. You have to, and then it's like the summer and you're expected to do this thing. And then you have to take this standardized test. And then you have to go to this practice that your parents make you, and I think I hated that a lot. And even then at camp, so I loved camp. It's not like I hated school or camp. They were fine. But then I'd go to camp over the summer, and still it was like, now we're going to soccer. Now we're going to basketball. Now arts and crafts. And it was like, I think running from that, I feel like is a lot of my life has been since then has been basically centered around not having total, just having as much freedom as possible, to the point where now if I have anything on my schedule, for 5 p.m. that day, I have something that's the whole day is kind of I'm in a bad mood the whole day about it, because I just want total freedom.
Why do you think that is? I'm the same as you, but why do you think there is that unwillingness to be constrained?
I mean, I think that's I think part of what is, the part of me that hates that is not necessarily, I think there's something to freedom and having actual choices that are yours and not, so I think there's something important there. But I think more for me is honestly, there's, I always think of there's two characters. There's this rational decision maker, this kind of a grown up. And then there's the instant gratification monkey in your head who just wants to maximize the ease and pleasure of the current moment. And I think it's a lot that monkey that hates that. And I think that's why, to get to your other question, what are you running to? I think, designing everything to not have to have the monkey be upset by saying, I don't want to go do this thing. Even though the other part's you should, it's good for you to go. You should have to go do this thing. It's once we're there, we're always happy, and it's better than sitting around doing nothing. So I think you can go too far. And then if you don't have any of those external structured things, then you end up in you can end up with the monkey kind of running your whole life suddenly. So now it's you're actually the monkey is making the decisions, which is actually worse. So what am I running to? I feel like I'm now trying to regain that structure, but kind of on my own terms, but trying to find that medium where I'm not being told by someone else or someone else's schedule what to do every minute, but I am doing stuff that makes sense every hour, and I'm not just doing nothing. So I feel like I'm trying to now recapture some of that actual structure.
In terms of recapturing that structure, the realization of the freedom of what you have today with Wait But Why came really with, a couple of hit pieces, one of them being the Fermi Paradox, massive hit at the time. When did Wait But Why really come to be as a very viable pathway for you to pursue as a very meaningful career?
So since I was, I said 16, 17, I was I need to do something creative in the arts, music or writing. And I moved to LA after college to write music. And that was my first thing. And I was blogging on the side. But then I started this business with my friend Andrew Finn. And that was, That was fun. We were running this tutoring test prep company together, and it was great. We were working with a friend, but I had this voice that was like, this isn't the thing that you said you were going to do. You're macro procrastinating. And so actually I remember it was actually like summer of 2012. I was walking down the Manhattan Beach boardwalk with Andrew, which is where he lived. And I was like, I'm going crazy. I need to do one thing. I'm writing a musical right now on the side. I'm doing a blog on the side. I'm running this business with part of my time with you. And I need to like go. And so like, why don't we do something, where we've done this before, where he went and worked on a project where I held down the business. And now he was like, okay, why don't, he's going to keep growing this, and I'm going to go and take one of these creative pursuits, and it'll be part of the kind of joint business world that we were in. And so I was like, okay, musical is fun, but it's not a great business. But writing can turn into like, a media empire. Who knows? Like, maybe we hire a bunch of writers, maybe, it becomes a platform that can have influence. And we either way, it could be like it's not just interesting to me as a creative, it can be interesting to you as well, as a business person. So we were like, okay, that's a good choice. And the key was I'm going full time, 60 hours a week on one project. And that was Wait But Why. And that was kind of the beginning. Then it took a year before I launched because of procrastination. And, it was this thing I was going to do, but I have to get a domain somehow. I have to figure out how to like get social media buttons on a blog page. I have to write the things. Is every post like 7 things I think about this, that, is it like that? Or is it longer things? Is it funny, or is it, I don't know. I didn't know anything. Are we hiring other people? Is it just me? So for the sake of money, we were going to start with it being just me. And it was just kind of like, finally, got it together, and summer of 2013 got it started.